Los Angeles. Live. What, day 5? Live at 5 Radio Row recap. The best part of the day, the best part of your day. The Fab Five are here to recap the day. Said the same thing like 8 times in a row differently. Gentlemen, how we doing?
Real good.
Real good.
I'm sad, but I'm also happy it's over.
What a week.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Went by so fast.
So fast. It's like Dr. Seuss said, right? Don't sad that it's over, be happy that it's happened, you know?
I was going for two green eggs and ham. What did Dr. Seuss say?
Very deep, very deep.
Let's get deep into it. 1 fish, 2 fish, red fish, blue fish.
Oh, yes.
What is the best Dr. Seuss book?
It's a great question.
Cat in the Hat.
The Places You Will Go. That one's my favorite.
Go.
Yeah, that was my favorite Dr.
What's the
Seuss
one
book.
with the it teaches you about like accepting people? The one that Starbelly Sneetches with the stars on there.
Fun fact: my uncle worked as the tour guide of the Hidden Art of Dr. Seuss, so we got to know the family and everything. Got close with them. Random fact of the day. So let's throw it out there.
That is a fun
amazing.
Fact. Yeah.
Look at
Dirty Chai Decker with
dropping the knowledge. Seriously.
I hate that stuck so bad.
I can't wait for the transition from that to what we're going to be talking about next.
I'm going to be like around just people in public, and then I'm just going to hear Dirty Chai Decker, and people are going to be like, "You have to explain yourself." There's a nickname.
You know you're going to have to like change all your social media handles to that eventually. That's going to happen.
You need to trademark it first of all.
Yeah.
DCD, man.
DCD.
Let's make it happen. Let's make
Not
it happen.
the CDC, but the DCD.
Man,
you can always trust the DCD.
Dude, I just love the Fab Five, man. We got
got
Rye or Die,
squad.
we got Danny Dub, we got Dirty Chai Decker, Skinny T, and the Madman. I mean, you know, can't go wrong here.
It's good stuff. It's
Great
good stuff,
man. Yeah.
Talk about a week, though, man. Like, every day seems like
Look at Danny Dub trying to get us on track.
We can do it. We do it.
Reel in us
like
in.
fish.
Reel it in.
No, but I mean, regardless of whether it was here or outside of here, like this week has just been absolutely insane. Like, I'm still processing like what just happened.
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, it's incredible. I mean, just even this afternoon, we see Russell Wilson walk by with his like
what an entourage.
Procession of 25 people. His entourage is literally 2 dozen
I was waiting
deep.
for the Doves to be following
Yeah,
also.
I mean, it was unreal to watch him. And then you just see kind of Kittle chilling over here. Vernon Davis is here. Derrick Henry's out in front of a Old Spice a little double-decker wagon. Shooting commercials. It's just crazy out here.
It's the who's who. I was thinking when I walked in today, L.A. obviously is a town of celebrities and stars. You see them all over. But never do you have this many stars and athletes in one, 8-mile proximity. I was walking in from the train, and, Steve Smith was eating lunch, or eating breakfast at one of the places I walked by. You just see multiple people as you're just walking by, just brunching, doing this, that. It's kind of cool to be like, this is in our city right now, and this is what's going on. And then we got to be at the focal point of it.
Absolutely.
Interviewing a lot of these people and, getting to know them.
That's the beauty of L.A. Magic can always happen here in Hollywood, Just you'll never know who you're going to see here. You'll never know what kind of project will be happening here. All the entertainment you love is pretty much made here. So the magic happens in Los Angeles, and I'm looking forward to be moving down here, boys, in the next 4 to 5 months.
Cuckoo! Yeah, boys.
I've said it over and over and over again. One of the reasons I love LA is everybody's hustling, everybody's trying to do stuff, us included, and I couldn't be happier to be a part of what we're doing out here.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
the hustle. The hustle's beautiful, though.
Man.
And it's been a hustle this week.
It's been a grind, but a lovely grind. Where afterwards, I'm genuinely proud of all the stuff that we've done this week. Where it's geez, we built that. And testament to you, Ryan. LAFB all the way.
Yeah, no question. I mean, honestly,
all
Ryan, a real shout out to you because we
Godfather. This man right here.
We have a seat at the table. At
I want
the
him
ultimate.
watching. Let's go.
Take it easy.
The ultimate media establishment for football here, Radio Row, and we literally have a seat at the table because of your vision and what you've built over the years, and we're just kind of riding your coattails, but this is all on the back of your vision and your blood, sweat, and tears. So we're here because of you. We're here because of you.
No, we're here because of all of us. That's the facts.
We are rye or dying on it.
We are rye or die.
Rye or die,
coattails.
Well,
rye or die.
It's about 3 layers deep of coattails of how freaking cold it is. Still the meat locker here. I'm trying to fight through in the t-shirt though. because
and that beautiful T-shirt, our city,
Yeah.
our network, our Super
Everyone
Bowl.
still
Look at
needs
that
one of these.
LAFB
Get
branding right
out
there.
that on LAFB.com, man.
Yeah,
Check us
same-
out.
Absolutely.
So
We have probably 13 different colors, a variety of sizes.
Heathered blue.
there you go. It's the
exactly,
heather
yeah,
blue.
absolutely.
We have like turtle green.
Yeah.
Like, there's some fun colors on there. So
Oh, yeah.
what was the so on this recap, we're actually going to do our full game preview. That's the one thing we haven't all
Yes.
done.
Yep.
Yes.
But before, and I'll let you guys think about what was like the highlight of the week so far. And we're actually some of us are coming back tomorrow, so we're actually not done. LAFB never sleeps. We're just going to keep rolling through. But this is kind of the, you can see it's like emptying out here at Radio Row. We'll probably be the only ones here tomorrow. So with that being said, what was kind of the highlight? Whether it was a guest interview, whether it was a picture you took, whether it was our time together, what was the highlight? Whoever wants to jump first.
Man, I mean, that's such a great question. Like, when we got Eckler, and I'm making sure I'm saying Eckler as opposed to Eckler, Dan Wolkenstein was the angriest I've ever seen anyone at a mispronunciation, man. Love Danny Dubs to death, but he looked like he's like, yeah, there's no way in there. Like, his face got red. I'm like, oh, my gosh.
I felt so bad.
But getting
I
Eckler.
before E, but there's no beep A.
That's a T-shirt we're going to be selling on the website, so, check that one out. But, we are the LA Football Network, and we had this discussion of the top 10 faces you could potentially get for LA. He's on that short list of names, right?
Yeah.
And just having him here, getting him in front of our logo, showing Chargers fans we can get these top-of-the-line people, I think that's what separates us. And, we were talking in the car today. We are locking down this area. That is the goal. Like Howard Schnellenberger did for Miami back in the day. That is going to be us in LA. Just lock down the area, get the best coverage we can. And that Eckler interview is the start of that. It's only going to propel us forward. That one was really cool. And today we actually had one of the coolest moments I've had just in general. We got to go talk to Joe Burrow, the talk of the town this week, and we got to talk to Jamar Chase too, which is really cool. Ask him some questions. But the real highlight for me this week was to kind of get down here and get to know you guys a lot more because I love LAFB, but it's been more of a virtual community, doing through the pandemic, and I'm making the move down here and getting to know you guys. It really does feel like a family environment. So, man, I'm just thrilled to be a part of something like this, and I know we're going to take LA by storm.
Love it. Love it. Beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah, for me, I think it's more of the same, just the opportunity to kind of hang out with you guys, and we giving each other nicknames. We're popping in and out of the tables. We're just all hustling together. There was such a great camaraderie and energy and just cracking the jokes amidst all of our heroes and icons and all of this. And I think even today, I mean, I know we're all LA and we're all Rams and all of that, but just, for me, I was born and raised in LA, and I was actually born at UCLA Hospital. And so for me to go back to UCLA campus where I, did grad school and to go kind of chase down Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and kind of ask them some hard-hitting questions right in the front row, ask some of the first questions that they had and kind of make them smile and blush a little bit, at that place was pretty special.
Did the scooter challenge happen?
The scooter challenge, I mean, those guys, Friday, they seem really locked in.
Okay.
The scooter challenge is a little bit more of a
Tuesday thing?
Tuesday.
Okay.
Some Tuesday night fun kind of thing.
Some shenanigans early week.
They look pretty locked in. But that was a special moment, both indoor as well as outdoor, right?
Super cool. Super cool.
Yeah, mine, apart from, I'm not going to butter you guys' biscuits anymore. We've had enough of that talk. I love you guys.
What is this, The View? What are we doing over here?
Children's show.
Yeah. But I met one of my heroes, a person that's kind of teaching me how to do this job while she's doing the job, Jordan Rodriguez. If you're not following Jordan Rodriguez and you're a Rams fan, I don't know what you're doing. Subscribe to the Athletics so you can get to there. Read me too.
Yeah.
Come to us. But she's just such a hard worker, dedicated, focused on the fans. And I've learned so much from her. So just for me, huge.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, I would say for me, I mean, all of the above, what you guys have mentioned, but I think all of us have that aspiration of, having this be a full-time career that we can all of a sudden have a living for our families for the future, all that kind of stuff. And like you said, we're all here. There's literally almost no one else here. and we're kind of putting a testament to the grind that we talk about. And I think it'll make it that much sweeter in the end. I mean, all the people we've met, all the conversations we've had, all the laughs we've had, those are all great, but I think the relationships that we've built here and what we're building as a network, I think, and seeing us being around everyone else in the same position as us.
Yeah.
I think that's been kind of the thing that's been most like.
It's an even playing field.
Yeah,
almost.
it's like bittersweet where we're just sitting here like, hey, does Sam Acho have 5 minutes? Let's talk to him for a bit. Like, oh, hey, Pat, let's talk to you for a while. Like, hey, that's what it's about. And I think just seeing kind of your leadership kind of come to fruition and everybody else kind of following in suit. I think that's been kind of the thing that I've just taken. I've watched it and I'm just like, man, like I've noticed it, and it's it hit me hard. So it's good. I loved it.
Love it.
Yeah, I've had so many jobs where I'm looking at the clock, just waiting for that, and now I don't want to go anywhere. And doing this job, it's a dream.
It's great. No, and it's a testament to all you guys, and not to kind of piggyback off what you guys said. I think what's so cool for me is obviously meeting all these amazing people and talking sports and doing these recaps and having fun and the jokes. But when you see people come by that you've looked up to or that do media and other, and they kind of stop and like, oh, that's really cool, like what you're doing. And they're like, oh, and they'll ask questions like, what is this? Like, oh, that's really cool. Like, I think that's like, hearing that is like that affirmation sometimes that not everyone needs, but it's helpful to say that what we're building is not only something cool, but it's like it's taking form. And it's it's becoming an actual entity in LA, which we've done it all just for free. Yeah, yeah. The viewers, the watchers. So, with that, should we get into the game a little bit?
I think we got to, man. We've been waiting all week for this one. Yeah, this is gonna be
Rams,
fun.
Bengals, the crescendo.
It's a radio roll with a game having to break out.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Like
yes,
that
sir.
old line with the hockey, right? Ryan, you're a hockey guy. I went to a fight and a hockey game broke out. So I think probably time we talk about it.
I guess it's time we get into it. Yeah, we always ask the guests like one question, but let's get into it. Who are we taking? What are the key matchups? There's been so much talk all week, but I'll start with you. Just what's your thoughts on what this game's going to be?
Man, so I think the biggest mismatch that everyone is talking about is the Bengals O-line against the Rams defensive line and how they can blitz the passer. Their pass rush rate in terms of getting to the quarterback and forcing pressures has risen from 26 to 31 during the playoffs. So the Rams have actually elevated their pass rush coming into this game. I think that's the biggest mismatch, but the matchup you said that I'm looking most forward to, man, if you're a fan of football, Jamar Chase, who has been relatively unstoppable, going against the best corner in the game, Jalen Ramsey, and Jamal asked this question at Media Day to Chase, and Chase was ready to take on the challenge, man. This is going to be as fun of a one-on-one matchup as you'll see in the NFL. So that one for me is the one that really stands out that I'll be tuning in and watching during Sunday's game, but I think it's going to be more evenly matched than I anticipated coming into this week, so I'm really excited.
Yeah, it's hard to really put – I feel like every matchup there's like a heavy favorite, and it feels like this game is a heavy favorite with the Rams. But at the same time, there's just something that it factor with the Bengals that I think because no one expected them to be in this game except for Coach Jason Brown, who apparently picked it in August. Except for him, I don't think.
I'm calling BS on Jason Brown. I need tangible proof that happens.
He said he did on his show.
I hope he has got proof because Peter Schrager, who's Good Morning Football, he tweeted out, he's like, if anybody for that matter, had predicted the Bengals to go to the Super Bowl, show me a receipt. We're flying you to the game. Yeah. Like, it was that crazy of a guess.
Well, he even didn't just say Bengals. He said Rams-Bengals was the Super Bowl. Like,
yeah, he
need proof.
2 for 2.
Yeah, Jason Brown, the Slapdick podcast, we had him on.
Yeah.
I need proof on that.
All right, well, look at the archives. I believe him.
That's a tall tale there right there. I need some backing on that.
I forgot all about the Slapdick podcast. I'm so happy that's back in my brain.
It's been a long, quick week. But, yeah, I'll just say this and I'll just toss it. I think this game comes down and you look at the last year's game with the Bucs and the Chiefs, and everyone all week – Brady's the GOAT, but everyone all week was like Mahomes, Chiefs, Tyreek Hill, Kelsey. Like, this offense is unstoppable, unbeatable. Mahomes has that new it factor. If it comes down to Brady, Mahomes, then probably Brady, but we just think Mahomes is going to have too much firepower all week. And the Bucs defensive line just obliterated the Chiefs, and it didn't matter who he was throwing to, had no time running for his life. And now that's been this week. Everyone's talking Joe Burrow, the it factor, Joe Cool, the ice, he's awesome, this. If he doesn't have time to throw, because, again, we talked about it a bunch with other people in off-air, but sacked 9 times in the game, and everyone's like, man, but he came out of that. No, McPherson hit 4 field goals, and Tannehill threw 3 interceptions. Burrow is good, don't get me wrong, but it really came down to Tannehill making mistakes and the kicking game hitting 2 50-yard field goals to keep minutes. So It's going to be a good game. Joe Burrow's great. I just think the pass rush of the Rams is going to blow it up, and it's just too good. I'm not willing to say a 17-point win like our buddy B. Lang said, but I think they win because of that.
There's a lot of things I'm not willing to say that man said. Yeah, I think we should be
fair.
honest. Yeah.
That's fair. So,
yeah, I think the passing game, it has been their bread and butter. They also have Joe Mixon in the back. All year long, the Rams defense was daring offenses to run on them. And not everybody did it. We saw it very successful with San Francisco a couple of times. And they run an outside, they run a stretch zone outside more than anybody. They get Mixon out far. And that stretches the field horizontally. Ernest Jones is super important in this game because if they can lean on that running game, that's a way you can beat the Rams. And what will happen is a safety will have to come down to help out if Ernest Jones can't get the job done. Troy Reeder's been in that spot, and he was a liability. And if that safety comes down, that opens up the deep ball.
You know, it's kind of I've been listening to everyone all week talk about this game, and I think the moment that I realized that there's a lot more to this game that people aren't necessarily thinking about. Like, one of the things I was just thinking about as you guys were all talking was like, I think this game is going to come down to like if Matt Stafford has a clean game, like if he has, I don't know, 250 yards.
He doesn't have to be great, just clean.
Just know it. If he throws an interception or two, like, I think they lose. Like, I think Burrow can throw a couple interceptions and still win, but I think Stafford, like, the Bengals are just feasting on people making horrible mistakes at the worst times. And so, for me, I honestly am going to be looking at how much pressure Cincinnati can get on Stafford. If he's getting pressured, it's going to be a long day for them. Because as you were talking about how it was in the past game with Super Bowl with Tom Brady and Mahomes, kind of the same thing where everyone was thinking Tom Brady was going to win the Super Bowl a couple years ago, and he got blasted by a defensive line and ended up losing.
Yeah.
So could Cincinnati's defensive line completely disrupt LA? I think that's kind of the biggest question.
Pressure up the middle has been a problem. So,
yeah.
I mean, getting Corbett and Brian Allen on their heels a bit, that's the way to do it.
And the Bengals' interior defensive line is good. They are very good.
Yeah, I think their strength is the outside, but they're no slouch in the interior. And if they run some stunts and stuff with from the outside, then who knows?
That's the one thing. If I'm a Rams fan, that's what scares me. Is if they could get to Matt Stafford, it's going to be a long day.
So
I think. Go for it.
Oh, sorry. Something that I was writing about earlier this year was McVay's kind of inability to mount big comebacks. I mean, that 10-point comeback last week was one of his largest of his career.
Yeah. He was like 0 whatever, if losing into the fourth quarter before that.
Yeah. And also something, a tendency is it doesn't seem like he keeps the foot on the gas all the way through. In Week 18 against the 49ers, he was celebrating in the end zone a little too early, and they ended up losing that game. 49ers came back in that game. So I think I'm interested to see how McVay performs in this particular matchup if they get back, or if Bengals get up early, or what happens if they're up by a bunch? Does he just keep that to the
keep
pedal
the gas
to the metal,
going?
Yeah, I mean, to me, this is sort of the Rams' moment where they have to sort of look in the mirror. And I think that they have obviously a decided advantage. We talked about O-line, D-line. But this is about the Rams balancing kind of the physical advantages they have with the mental pressures of being the favorite here. This is a legacy-defining game for Stafford. This is a legacy-defining game for McVay.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have the clutch gene yet. They haven't proven that at all in their careers. McVay hasn't, in terms of him losing the Super Bowl to Belichick the way he has and the way he's struggled in critical moments with very questionable decision-making. And Stafford, when he is pressured, throwing the ball up in the air in a jump balls type situation. And so, for me, this is really about how the Rams kind of handle the expectation that is given to them. Mm-hmm. And again, I think they have 3 quarters to win this game. And if this thing goes into the fourth quarter, I'm taking Burrow over Stafford. There's just no question about it in my mind. And we talk a lot about the journey that the Bengals have had.
Mm-hmm.
And, I remember, Rasheed Wallace said, woulda, coulda, shoulda. If my aunt had balls, she would have been my uncle.
Yeah.
And, we keep talking about,
That's
Tannehill, if he's not going to be gifting him, that particular game, and they won by 3. Well, guess what? For all the dominance that we're talking about the Rams, the Bengals won their last 2 games by 3 points each. The Rams won their last 2 games by 3 points each. The Rams played JV Tampa Bay, and the Rams have played 2 divisional opponents that they know really well en route here. And so, as much as on paper they are kind of the paper champions, they are unproven. And I am not willing to give them the benefit of the doubt just because they are the Rams on paper. They're going to have to prove it on the field. Against a guy who has really demonstrated an ability to be clutch. Yeah. And so you have 3 quarters to put if this is a 7 or more point game going into the fourth quarter, the Rams are fine. If this is inside 7 going into the fourth quarter, I'm hard-pressed to think Matt Stafford is going to out-clutch Joe Burrow. No shot.
Yeah. And you got to look at Zach Taylor, too, though. That's the one wild card, because he obviously has no clutch either so far. We haven't seen. So, go ahead, Will.
Oh, man. Well, I think I'm trying to get over the Rasheed Wallace comment over here. The balls on the ant. You make him an uncle after that. Yeah, I may be butchering it a little bit, but I think one of the key guys for the Bengals, at least, is Joe Mixon. Like, the game completely turned around on that screen pass that was Pirine. That was Pirine that made the play. But Mixon, I think, as a change of pace back, can really allow the Bengals to kind of dominate the clock if he's feeling it that day. He's so good with the pass catching. He's so good with the run. I just think if Mixon can get hot, maybe get over 100 yards rushing to complement Burrow and what we've seen him do, that's potentially a recipe for disaster for the Rams. And,
Well, Mixon, Will, is a guy who, everyone kind of forgets he was Le'Veon Bell 2.0 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And, what was so great about both Mixon and Le'Veon Bell was their versatility, their ability to run as well as their ability to pass catch. And so we're talking a lot about, and Ryan, this is to your point earlier, we're talking a lot about the Rams pass rush. But if you get Mixon out in the flat, you get the screen game involved, you go out wide, you go bubble screen, there's a lot of things you can do to get the ball out of Burrow's hands quickly and almost use the aggressiveness of the pass rush against the Rams. And then if you start having the Rams kind of think a little bit about, just ears back blitzing the quarterback, you still have some folks on the back end now where obviously Ramsey's going to shut down half the field. Whoever he's guarding, Ramsey is Ramsey. But the rest of that Rams secondary, when you're talking about Boyd and Higgins, there's some problems there on the back end.
That's the issue for sure.
On the other side of that same coin, Cam Akers, Sony Michel have not done anything in the playoffs, and they will need to extend drives. They're going to need to have long drives to set up those big plays that McVay likes to call deep down the field, and that's where the Rams need to prove it. For me, I think if they need to stick with that running game. I'm not an establish the run kind of guy. I'm not like you, but they have to be able to do it so that the Bengals defense will play them. They have to play them more physically if they do that. I mean,
I think the one part that I question is I think everyone here probably agrees that if you look at the Bengals, 2 minutes the ball in their hands and they need a score, I think we all think they probably would at the end of the game. Do we have the same trust in the Rams offense? If let's say the Rams are down 4 with a minute and a half left, do you have that same confidence in Stafford, OBJ?
To be fair, they did do it against the Bucs when it counted most already this playoffs.
Yeah.
Stafford hit Kupp for a huge game, and they have the playmakers to do it, right? I mean, Cooper Kupp, best receiver in the NFL.
Oh, yeah.
My money. Today,
no doubt.
If you're asking a question, I think he is the best receiver in the game. And the guy on the opposite side, I mean, this is the most underrated pickup, I think, in a long time, is, Robert Woods, a really great receiver, as solid as they come, they just happened to get Odell Beckham for less than $2 million to play football. I mean, that is the ultimate steal right there. So having him, and he's proven to have a renaissance in his career. So the weapons are there to move the ball down the field if they want to. It's going to come down to Stafford. And, I think that's what it boils down to for every big game. The quarterback's got to make the throws. But Stafford is, he's getting those demons out. He was 0-3 in the playoffs coming in this year. He's 1-3. He's 3-0 coming into the Super Bowl this year. So if Stafford can hit those throws, I think the Rams are in a really good position to pull this one out.
So are you feeling confident with Stafford, ball in his hand, down 4, minute and a half?
Yeah, I mean, you're not taking him over some of the greats of all
Sure,
time.
but in this game.
Yeah, I'd feel fairly confident just because of those weapons.
You guys?
Yeah.
No.
I don't know if I do either. And I think
no, I'm not. I'm absolutely not. I mean, the Bucs expended so much energy getting back into that game.
They had no business in the game.
They had no business in the game. Their defense, it was the first time that defense played together all year. There was a lot of miscommunication on the back end. They had very little practice time. It was a busted play. That wasn't a drive. That was a busted play that Cooper Kupp was there. Credit to Stafford for making that happen under those situations, and they kicked the field goal. But you're telling me, do I have confidence in Matthew Stafford after spending 15 years losing to go win the Super Bowl? No, I don't.
That's why he has the
That's why he needs the cushion.
Yep. Yeah. And so, if you think about it real quick, just going through it, looking at the Bengals and the Rams, I think all of us would agree overall, just looking at position by position, I think quarterback goes to the goes to the Bengals. I think overall people would say trust him more.
Yeah.
Running backs, I would think you'd probably go Bengals, but it'd be close.
Close, but probably Bengals, yeah.
Wide receivers, honestly, probably the Rams, although I think Bengals have, the best top. Well, no,
I think I'd go Rams.
Yeah.
At least the 1-2 punch they got. No disgrace to Higgins or anything like that. Higgins is a solid player.
You're
but give me OBJ and
but OBJ is
top,
much better than him.
Fair enough. Yep.
So
Offensive line,
Rams.
defensive line,
Rams.
everywhere else on defense, probably the Rams too. Right?
Linebackers, Bengals. But secondary, close, but Rams.
Coaching, Rams.
Yeah.
The Bengals do have an underrated defensive line, though. Trey Hendrickson, Hubbard, those are not household
No, they
names.
have a good defensive line, absolutely.
Not household names,
Yeah.
but those guys are studs.
Yeah,
those are great players.
They're just not.
Special teams. Yeah.
Special teams is, probably
Bengals.
Bengals.
That's probably
Which
Bengals
is
with
saying something.
Which
McPherson.
could come down to that, yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, but don't forget, Matt Gay was the hottest kicker in the game in the NFC.
They're both phenomenal.
So I'm not saying he's better than.
Yeah, he's faded. He's missed some kicks
Yeah.
in the playoffs. So.
I mean, we've talked a lot about X and O's, matchups, and things like that. I think there's an X factor, intangible thing, the motivation that I think that the Rams are coming into this game with, wanting to win it for Stafford, for Aaron Donald, Whitworth,
OBJ.
Yeah,
Miller.
Absolutely. I think there's a lot of guys that are having serious conversations with themselves right now. Like I'm getting this done right here. Stafford has something to prove. Donald, he wants this more than anything. I think right now. I don't know. I mean, he's a focused dude to begin with. Now
You saw him at the end of that game when he won with pointed the finger with the ring. I mean, he wanted it.
Yeah. Well, he was on the sidelines hyping up that defense. He's not,
which he doesn't do
vocal
ever.
leader. But he was there. Doing it, and I think I mean,
I love
there's a interesting narrative from the Bengals' perspective that I think people are really latching onto, and they're loving it. We love to see a guy like Joe Burrow win and do it in such a dramatic way, but I think there's a lot of hype that comes with that, and both of these teams come into this game with that kind of a similar path as we've laid out, through the playoffs. Both have gone through periods of this season where nobody really believed that they could ever, there's a 3-game stretch where Rams Twitter was just setting their hair on fire because they were ready to trade everybody. I mean, I think the Burrow thing is a narrative thing. The way he's been winning and the way he's been doing it, to steal a term from the data world, is not a sticky way to play quarterback. It's not something that is sustainable. I don't.
And throwing up jump balls with the blitz and expecting the corners to drop it is sustainable.
I'm not. I will definitely not. I will not argue that. The idea of arm punts just blows my mind. I hate that idea. But I just think that he's gotten so much hype, and I'm not buying into it. As you're not buying into Stafford, I'm not buying into Burrow. In that he's gotten such lofty comparisons. The Joe
So
Montana,
early.
and it's like I want to see the receipts and the proof.
I think that's fair, Ryan. I think the one other thing I will say is let's not underestimate Cincinnati. I think if we asked at the beginning of the season, what is the hardest thing to do in the NFL? I think most people would say go into Kansas City and win a playoff game.
Not where say that.
Where
Arrowhead.
only the great Tom Brady has beaten Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs until now. And so, yes, I agree. I mean, it's year 2. It feels a lot like, 84 Marino and all of those things. And again, it's is it fair or unfair? It's bloated. But the Rams are getting a lot of hype in this game too. Okay, this is not just this notion that Burrow is stealing the headlines from everybody is completely and utterly laughable.
Yes.
Okay, this is LA. This is LA's home Super Bowl. This is Tinseltown. The Rams are getting all the hype. Okay,
It's basically everyone talking about the Rams versus Joe Burrow.
Absolutely. Yep.
I'll take it a step further. I think this is a must-win for the Rams, period.
Yes.
I mean, the whole thing about Super Bowl week is it throws you off your routine. You're doing things. You're doing media like we just saw these guys say. You're practicing at a foreign place. You're getting bussed everywhere around. You got to make appearances, things like that. The Rams, just like the Bucs last year, they can sleep in their own beds. They can get home-cooked meals. They can have that routine. They're defending on their own turf. They're in their own locker room, right, for the game. So this is essentially a home game for them. I think if they lose this is – it was totally in their control to pull this off.
Yeah.
Because they have the advantage in this game, not only on the field, but the external circumstances as well.
To be honest, though, I think the part that people aren't really talking about is like, look, both of these teams earned the right to be here. Like, they both got here legitimately. One of the teams expected to be here. The other team is happy to be here right now, and now they're just playing with house money. And for me, all of the pressure is on the Rams, but for good reason. I think everyone would agree they are the better team. They should be here. And now it's just a matter of, who's going to live up to expectations. If both teams live up to their expectations, Rams win.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a matter of, can the Rams just be who they are, or will the Bengals make them do something moronic that gets them back in the game, like what you saw the week prior when the Rams almost coughed it up to the Bucs.
Yeah.
So one team is hungry. You talk about motivation and having that, people, the reason why they're there. All of these guys on the Rams are in it for their heart. This is their last chance. And Bengals are hey, this is fun. We're just starting. We could be here next year. This is cool. 2 weeks out, let's say the Rams win. Rams go home. They're all happy, excited. Bengals lose, right? They're devastated. 2 weeks later, I guarantee you all of them can you believe that we made the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
We went to the Super Bowl.
What a
this
run
year.
we had.
Wow.
Yeah.
Rams lose, crushed.
Yeah.
Well, and we got potentially 18 more years of Burrow.
Yeah.
Who wants that?
Yeah, he's not going anywhere.
we got at best 6 more Stafford years.
Yeah.
All
right.
At best 2 in L, or at worst 2 in LA.
Yeah. All right. Predictions. Let's wrap it up. What we got? Dan, I'll start with you.
I'm going to go against the grain here. For some reason, I just feel like pressure gets to everyone, or gets to most people, if your name is not Tom Brady, usually.
Yeah.
And I do think that this game is going to be similar to a lot of games the Bengals have been in the playoffs, where they're going to start off going down. And I think it's going to get uncomfortably close at the end. I would love to see I just want to see a great game. And the storylines on both teams is incredible, but I think it's going to be a close one, but I just can't see the Rams losing this. I don't see it. I think the Bengals will put up a fight. I think it's going to be a lot closer than people think. I know the 4.5-point spread, but you're hearing people talk blowout city. I just don't see that happening with the Bengals team. They're too resilient. But I think the Rams have it. I really do.
Okay. Will?
Yeah, I'm kind of going to piggyback off Dan. I just think the offensive line is so important, and the Bengals have been lucky to make it this far. I mean, how many teams win a game where their quarterback is sacked 9 times? That just does not happen.
Yeah.
And you're going against, for my money, I wasn't around for Lawrence Taylor, the most dominant defensive player at his position. It is just a worst-case scenario. You have arguably one of the worst lines in football, and you're going against a generational defensive tackle. It's not just a good defensive tackle.
Yeah.
We've talked about this. It's the Moneyball comparison. It's Aaron Donald. There's 50 feet of shit.
Yeah.
And it's everyone fighting for number 2.
Yeah.
Aaron Donald is the greatest defensive tackle to ever play football. And this is going to be a coordinating moment for him. I really believe that. I'm going 31-20 Rams. However, I'm with the madman. If it's close at all and it's tight in there, I trust Burrow a lot more to get it done than Stafford. So 31-20 Rams. But if it's close, I'm going Bengals.
Okay. Ryan?
Yeah, I'm going Rams. 34, they win and cover. So 34,
29?
29, somewhere around
Gives
there.
them 5 point over the 4.5. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've stated all my reasons why. Madman.
There you go.
You think mic drop?
Yeah, I feel like there's really only 2 possible outcomes in this game for me. This is
Rams win or Bengals win?
Rams by double digits comfortably, or Bengals win a close game. I have 0 confidence in the Rams' ability to be clutch and win a close game.
Mm-hmm.
So this is either going to be the Rams 2 touchdowns or the Bengals by a field goal. And I'm going to go Bengals 30-27.
Oh. Okay.
Upset City.
All right. I love it.
That man called it first if it goes down.
Yeah, there we go. 30-27. I'm going Rams also. We talked about all the things. I just think the defensive line is too important in this game for the Rams. And they are able to get a comfortable lead out there. And even if stuff starts to go bad, they have enough to keep it extended. So I 31-24 was my final score prediction.
I like that. Man.
Take the over. Rams cover. But should be a great game. We're going to be at Surfridge Brewery.
Yes.
Watching it, hanging out. Are we all? Are you? You're going back home, so you probably won't be there.
I might be there.
You might cruise back. Are you good? I know you've been thinking about it.
I am thinking about it. I've been staying with friends and family this whole week, and I've had no time for them. So I might have to kind of go and hang out with them because I am sleeping at their place. You know, they are going out of their way to have me. If I can get out of it, I'll
Just
be
bring
there.
them with.
It's gonna be Ride Die Palooza is what's going to happen. You ever see Old School or is Mitch a Palooza? That's what's going to be happening there. Snoop Dogg's going to show up. He's going to give us his green hat. It's going to be freaking awesome.
Okay,
So yeah.
well, then you just bring the family there. So I know Ryan Jamal will be there. Surfridge Brewery, El Segundo Brewery, free to attend. Doors open at noon. We'll be doing a live show, a bunch of great drinks. Bring your kids, bring your dogs, whatever you got. Gentlemen, anything last words before we sign off?
Man.
Thank you. Thank you to you. Thank you to all you guys,
Godfather.
too. All the
Likewise.
listeners, fans, viewers, all the guests we had in our show. Thanks to all of you.
Yeah, it's been great. So appreciate all of you. Let's go have some drinks, yeah?
Let's do it.
All right.
Well
We
earned,
out.
baby.
LAFB Network out.